I'm going to give you guys 5 tips to picking winning stocks. You're going to want to watch this video throughout. Let's get into it. Number 1, you got to invest in something you understand. Or in other words, how Warren Buffett puts it, invest within your circle of competence. In other words, maybe invest in something that you've either worked in yourself, whether it be tech, maybe industrials, or, I don't know, whatever it may be, guys, whether you have experience in it yourself or you have studied the topic, the subject very heavily, you have a very in-depth knowledge, you got to invest in something that you understand. Number 2, which is probably the most important thing, I'm going to go out and say it is the most important thing, you cannot overpay for these stocks because you could invest in a great company, but you might be overpaying for that company. For example, something like Costco, it's a great business, awesome company, but if you buy it at whatever stock price it's at and you overpay for it, you're not going to get a good return long term. You're going to own a great company, but you overpaid for that company. Tip number 2, do not overpay. Number 3, which is also very important, pick a company, invest in a business that has a strong competitive advantage, a very strong moat, in other words, how, the famous investors say it, right? Pick a company that is very difficult to compete with. Think of an Apple, for example. They make iPhones, iPads, Macs, all that good stuff. Once you're in that ecosystem, you're not getting out. Let's be honest. It's a very sticky business, and there are competitors, but it's very, very, very hard to compete and take the market share from Apple. That is a company with a very strong competitive advantage. And with a strong business comes number 4, you want a competent management team. You want this strong business to be led by a group of individuals that understand what they're doing, that have been at it for years, and they're not a bunch of bozos. They're not going to lead the business into the ground, because if you have a great business, and well, I guess you can't have a great business without a great management team, but let's say you have a business that has a bad management team. What's gonna happen at the end of the day, unless they sell or switch the management up, right? You have to have a great management team. And the 5th tip here, which kind of ties in with a lot of the other ones we've talked about in this video, the 5th tip is don't try and go for the home run stock all the time. That's not always going to get you to where you want to be. Sometimes being very patient and having these boring companies that nobody really likes, watching them and paying, a good price for them, that is a way that you can really do well over time. Or you can just simply invest in an index fund. That's a good strategy as well. Follow along for more.